Hello and welcome to When Pigs Fly. Good morning, Tracy and Renee. How are you, lovely ladies?
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Fabulous.
Good. Good to see you. So today, first we want to welcome our new subscribers. We see you and we're hearing your comments. And to those of you who've been with us from day one, we absolutely love you. And your comments and feedback is really helping us to be able to share relevant stories and information with you that'll help you. So make sure to keep liking it, subscribing, and hit that share button if you feel like this will resonate and help someone. And then always keep in mind, you only need to take what resonates with you and then throw the rest away. We're each unique souls.
Mm.
So just plug in. There's something here for everybody that they can chew on a little bit and have some fun with. So we're going to begin because we noticed that a lot of you really dug into our energy update. So I'm going to start with a quick energy update and then we're going to see where the conversation takes us. So the past 4 or 5 days or so, last week we had massive illumination energy coming in. And what's been happening the last, excuse me, 4 days is purging. So we're seeing purging, a little purging in the root, a little purging in the sacrals, massive purging in the crown and third eye, and some blasts in the solar plexus, not as much. The biggest purging is happening in the crown and third eye. So, how is that coming up with ascension symptoms? You may be feeling the blurry vision. You may be getting ringing in the ears. One ear may feel like, oh, I can't hear as well out of it. Another thing, skin. A lot of people are seeing their skin break out. And the throat is the other area. Forgot about that one. The throat, crown, and third eye are the ones that are really being purged. So, what do you pay attention to? Number one, don't freak out and don't start thinking that you're going blind or deaf. You're not. Remember, these are upgrades, and you can just go, oh, that's cool. I'm getting an upgrade. And, like, for example, our eyes are being acclimated to receive more light. Right. And especially those of you who have light sensitivity, think of it that way, that you're able to receive more lights. Like we're getting a cool pair of new shades. Okay. Um, Next, here is something to be aware of. The energies, all of these upgrades and the purging, right after the purging tends to come in another illumination period. So during this time is a great time to practice that self-care. You may be exhausted too. Some people, I know yesterday I was like, I'm taking a freaking nap because my body was just, I could tell it's processing it. And don't go into the freak out zone and just say, oh, no, what? My body needs rest right now and give it what it needs. A lot of water. Definitely drink water. Can't stress enough. Water, is our body is mostly water. So keep feeding that. And, but on a conscious level, be super aware that as these energetics get amplified, they're amplified. So, what does that mean with how we're living our day to day life? So, for example, if you are focused on, oh, I'm focused on expansion and opening my heart, that's going to happen a lot quicker and easier for you because that's where your focus and attention is going. If you have one foot in one canoe and one in the other saying, oh, I'm looking to expand, and you're like digging into your consciousness and wanting to expand, but you're also going, oh no, but I can't forgive my mother for ABC, or this, my sister's pissing me off. If you go into that, that is also being amplified. So, being an observer of your thoughts and catching yourself and saying, what am I creating right now? What am I creating for myself? What am I focusing on? And then don't beat yourself up. Just have grace and have compassion for yourself. But to catch it, the faster you catch it, you're pulling away something that you do not want to amplify. And then the third scenario, which you don't want at all, is that if you're completely focused on the negative stuff, everything that's going wrong, you're amplifying it. And especially in a purge period, what it's doing is, say you thought you cleared something, but maybe you've got a little tether hanging on there that you were unaware of. It's like an energetic tether. And Renee can talk a little bit more about this energy. But so you may see another scenario come up and say, oh, I thought I cleared that, but yet you got an experience. Well, that's an opportunity for you to let it go. And it's showing you that so that you say, oh, okay, maybe I didn't completely let go of that and use the opportunity to let go. So the energetics are supporting release, but you need to be a willing participant, is what I'm trying to say. So that was our energy update. And I want to have, and I know Renee and Tracy have some amazing stuff to add to this. So Renee, I'd love for you to talk about how the energy, what you see when it's leaving the body and when this new stuff's coming in.
Well, and I think it's important, thank you. I think it's important to recognize that as we're getting these downloads and everything's like, purging out or whatever, it really, our system is basically releasing toxins. That's why it's so important to bump up on that water. If you're feeling nauseous, to me, it's always that part of your body saying to you, hey, I need help flushing this out. So bump up on your water. And I know a lot of people will say to me, oh, I drink a lot of water anyway. That's all I drink is water. So trust me when I say, when this stuff is happening, I drink way more water. So don't think that, oh, because I drink, a lot anyway, that, oh, I'm good. No, we need more because your body's used to drinking the amount of water that you were drinking. So you have to drink that. And what I'm actually watching in the energy field when things are, releasing, when we're getting an upgrade or doing whatever, there's always this, I'll just say that this field within our body, within our physical form, where I'm watching things disconnect. A lot of it is in the human mind and brain. So if you're feeling foggy, you're feeling, things like that, like my thoughts aren't, coming through right and what's going on. Don't go into the whole thing of like, oh my God, do I have dementia? Do I have this? Don't go down that rabbit hole. Just do it like, thank you, thanks for the upgrade. Okay, this is an upgrade, because that really does make such a huge difference. When we start to go into the fear mode, I'm watching the energy field, shift and change within the mind, and then all of a sudden it connects into what the healers have showed me is like, this is the piece of fear. This is the part of fear that is connecting into the human brain. And all of a sudden I see all these, like, here's the brain and there's these, whatever, I say tentacles. And I'm sure somebody knows what these are, but I've seen these for years. And these things are going and they're showing these electrical currents going into the brain. When you're thinking it, I see those electrical, sometimes this will flip over and then the electrical currents go into different areas of the brain. Well, when you're going into that fear mode or that worry, that concern, it's going into one particular piece. And then what's really weird is they show me that piece like pulsing, like getting bigger. And then I'm like, well, what is that doing? And then they show it going into the whole body, and the whole body responds even further with aches and pains and different stuff, because now you're giving it the program, the pattern that, oh, this is happening and now I'm feeling this and that, as I'm getting sick, I'm doing whatever. And you're starting to create that whole little pattern there. But when you start to say things in a very positive way, oh, this is just an upgrade. Good for me. And I'm going to use Tracy's wording, like, aren't I freaking awesome? Like, how could I'm open and I'm ready to get this upgrade. When you're saying that, it's a whole different ball game to your body. Your human body is responding to you in that positive way, because now you're showing it and teaching that this isn't something to be fearful of. That's the old program. That's the old way of doing things. That's no longer this field. This energy is too light. It's, like we've said a million times, it's breaking down the timelines. Everything's like collapsing. So that's why things aren't really working. And now it's time to say, okay, what am I creating? Exactly what you said, okay, what am I creating? How is this moving forward? I mean, I've had that blurry eyes for weeks now. And there was a point where I was like, oh my God, should I be visiting the doctor? I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? No, like, I know this is an upgrade. And when I said, thanks for the upgrade, it lessened, but I still had it. It's not as bad. And now I'm like, this is freaking cool. Like, how cool is this that my whole body is shifting and changing to go into this whole field that we don't even know about, but I'm excited to go there. So, every day I'm like, yes, bring it on. Let's go. Let's go. And Tracy, what's been going on with you with this whole thing?
Well, a lot. And I was just thinking that I have been working with a lot of people, friends, family that are experiencing physical symptoms in their bodies, which we're speaking to, the purging, right? And not only if I have it, I jump on it. So if I cough, when I'm coughing or sneezing, I'll throw in the intention of, oh, good, more yuck out of the body. Like really play with it and latch onto it and, whatever it is, amplify it. But what just came to me listening to you, Renee, is I've been watching what's happening in a couple people's bodies and they're having different things go on. And I do see the energies at play. They're strong and they're fast, which was, it's awesome. It's that purging, but also that receiving. And I see a lot of, it is a resistance, a struggle in people's bodies because they are trying to purge so fast and receive. And this is unconscious and unknowingly. I really don't believe that they know it's happening. And I saw two things that are interesting and feed into both the conversations. One, I was watching and I could see her neuroplasticity, that her brain was trying to reprogram synapse in a different way, fire in a different way. So her reaction to all of her stimuli, every word, thought, action, what she eats, what she thinks, it's really trying to upgrade. And it was fascinating to watch. And then I'm supporting her system in firing a different way and trying to reframe and pivot per minute, literally per minute. So I'm telling you this because everyone can do it. So if you can, in your own world, say, oh, this is what's happening, everything's changing, and I'm going to be aware as much as I can of reframing and allowing my body to take the stimuli, whether it's a purge or receiving, and work with my body to let it be harmonious. And another tip, and this was someone else, I was kind of watching their body trying to purge so much of the old energy because it so eagerly was wanting the new. And it was almost like this traffic jam going on in her body, a lot of things getting clogged up. So working with timelines, Patty, you've mentioned this a little bit, working with timelines. And this is a little out there of a conversation, but even putting your attention in, take the timing out of it. It's almost if, you're doing a remodel and you had everything, whoa, we're behind schedule. Whoa. There is no schedule. There's no schedule here, guys. Like we can purge and receive and it can be done harmoniously. And if we just keep putting our attention on that, then the more harmonious and graceful and with ease it can happen. And even if we're, getting listen, I'm congested now. My throat is firing up big time. It's just horsey. And so I'm like, oh, great. Ooh, my voice is upgrading. This is awesome. I'll be able to speak even more truth. Watch out, people, but,
Yeah.
So a lot moving and shaking, super exciting, but we all have the power within to be our own. I don't know why traffic cop keeps coming to me to really work with the traffic. Okay, I'm purging this. I'm bringing this in. Hold on. I'm reframing that. Okay, we're going to receive it this way. A lot going on, a lot of fun can present and a lot of bumps and bruises in the journey. But I like to say sometimes for me, the sweeter the victory is, the more I kind of stumble about and take on a couple bumps and bruises. Because then when you get to the finish line, it's, I did it. So kind of take that into your mix. If you're getting some challenges, we'll use that word, let the victory be even sweeter.
I love that. I love it that you're giving it, cheer it on too. Go, right? Hey, detox, your skin's detoxing. Fantastic. Don't get trapped in vanity and going, oh no, I have a pimple. Now you're in the rabbit hole. And what Tracy was just talking about is creating new neuropaths. That's what is happening. And so to create a new neuropath, you have to get out of that old. So instead of saying, oh, no, I have a zit, go, oh, great, I'm detoxing, keep going and cheer your body on. You have that ability. I love that. Be a traffic cop for your own body. Okay, that crap's going out and bring in more light and direct it and say, ooh, okay, this is interesting. And, the more you can stay in observation and curiosity keeps you out of fear and stop judging yourself because that's the rabbit hole and you're tuning into the shit show. Another thing I want to add is be aware of your environment. some of you put yourself, and I used to do this till I realized at one point I stopped watching things, movies and things that, and I've never been afraid of scary movies, but the ones that have like the intense music where you're anticipating somebody's going to get killed and you're watching it. If you are having that experience when you're watching something and you feel it in your body, for some of you, you watch the freaking news and this happens. If something is creating a physical feeling in your body right now and it doesn't feel good and you don't do anything about it, you're amplifying it. You're allowing that to be amplified. So pay attention, to your environment too. Are you allowing people to trigger you? Or can you just go, you know what? Right now, I want to stay in my power. I don't want to give my power away. This person's going through, they're on their journey. And like, if it's particularly if you're focusing on how other people think of you. So pay attention to your environment. What are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you hanging around with? And if your environment isn't supporting the energy leaving and the new energy coming in, it's your job to be aware of that and then choose. And you got to slow your roll sometimes, though, slow your roll and pay attention. Don't be scrolling on social media and getting all charged up about crap, because now you're in the rabbit hole again. And that process that Renee was talking about, now you've got one little thing in your brain going and it's radiating through your whole body again and causing more muck, which then halts your progress. And you want to get into a flow and you want to, like Tracy said, direct it, and then you can acclimate it with ease and grace. And you have the power and the ability to direct the energy, right, Renee?
Yeah, I love that. And I love the thought of like you directing it, Tracy, like the traffic, like that is like such a great visual for me. I'm like, oh my God, I could do that. That's awesome. And when you were saying, Patty, like what you're watching and doing that stuff, you're really creating that whole aspect. Like I used to love watching IDTV because I always was so amazed at how they were solving these things. But I started to realize my brain was in a fear mode. Anything that happened, I was like, oh my God, is this, because I would go into the whole thing and I stopped watching that. And it took a while to defrag and I would be talking to myself like, no, that's not what we're doing. But what's really important, especially because we're in this energy field and we're going to be here for a while with these upgrades. I mean, this isn't going away anytime soon. This is what the life we're now living. Okay. And as we're doing this, recognizing how much, more tired you are. Okay. Because the body will heal when we're sleeping, right? And it gives it the opportunity to let go and release. We're really cleansing a lot of stuff when we're sleeping. People will say, oh my God, I have these crazy dreams. Well, those crazy dreams are all related to things you are releasing. Don't buy it. Oh my God, I had this dream about this, and don't go down that rabbit hole. Thank you so much. Oh my God, thank God, I let that go. But because, for me, I'm more tired than I used to be. If I'm going to sit down and I'm going to put the television on, you better believe that I'm not going to have something that's going to be like crazy and negative or fearful or scary or whatever, because I know I'm going to doze off. And when you're sleeping, that comes right into your consciousness, whether you recognize that or not. And you might wake up with a fear or an anxiety, or it might not even be that day. It might be down the road. You're like, where is this coming from? It's because that went into that conscious. Now, whatever was going on in that television, it might have like triggered because you're having some sort of experience, or you heard some sort of noise and it triggered the memory because you went into the history banks, right? It triggered the memory of that. And now all of a sudden you've got this anxiety, you have this fear, you've got this worry, this concern, what it is. So pay attention to everything. Like exactly what you said, Patty, watch that environment. And if people around you, they're having their experiences and they're angry and they're yelling at you and they're doing whatever, recognize that that's not you. That's something that they're going through. It has nothing to do with you. They're feeling out of control. So don't give them that stuff. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Like you don't have to argue back. If you feel like you have to say something, don't say it. Say it with love. Don't say it with anger. Don't say it with, I've got to get back to this person. Just be like, okay, thank you or whatever. Say your piece and just let them go. And do not, the next day, don't start thinking about later on. Don't start thinking about, do not let your yesterdays take up today. Consciously bring your awareness to, okay, this is what's happening, but I'm going to stay in the now. Because typically, if someone's yelling, you're yelling about something that already happened. Okay, right? Because it happened in that moment. Well, now you're in this moment. What difference does it make? It's over. It's done. Who cares?
What's
right?
happening right now?
Yeah, like if you can stay in the now, you'd be amazed at what starts to happen. And just be like, yep, okay, yep, whatever. You want to say that, like say it, but do not take it personal. It's not about you, believe it or not. It's
No.
about them. We are bringing people to us that are reflecting different things. So it's possibly the ability for you to say, you know what, I'm stronger than this. That's not my reality. I'm staying in peace and calm because that's what I'm creating in my life. And all of a sudden, those things just start to go away.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, well said. And I want to bring up the history files because when you said that, it brought a thought to me. So essentially, what is happening with these purging and energy upgrades is we are deleting our freaking history files. And what do I mean by that? No, it's not like everybody's going to have amnesia, but you need to get to emotional amnesia with it. So we're disconnecting the body response from that, but you can't do that if you keep experiencing it. Because then you're amplifying it. So we're really detaching from all these history files. Why? Because we're being encouraged and taught to live in the moment, to be now. If you think of it, everything in your freaking history file cabinet happened in the now. And so it's I like it. I see a vision of like these, God bless these Sherpas who carry a whole human down Everest because they ate shit at the top of the mountain. You know, don't be a Sherpa with your stuff. Let it let it go. Let it go. And be conscious. Oh, wait a minute. Am I carrying around? What am I carrying around? Am I carrying a backpack that I have an opportunity now to let go of? Like it's really, really important that you start to say, oh, wait, I'm not being present. And how do you stay present? Engage. And Renee and I both paint, right? And Tracy goes into nature and walks. She lives at the beach. What a great way to get present, right? Stand there and be, and we talk about oneness, be one with the ocean and the air and all of that. And laugh, turn something funny on. Turn something funny on. Turn music on that makes you smile. Don't put the broken heart songs on. Those don't help you. So it's, how can you surround yourself, give yourself the best opportunity to get through the purging and to help your body to acclimate and recognize when you're in a pattern. That's Renee, that was the big one.
Yeah, big pattern.
Trace.
Tracy, what do you get?
Well, what came to me is not sure when we came into the zodiac year of the dragon, not recently. You guys might know better. I don't. So anyway, we're in this new dragon energy, and it's interesting because I have been feeling it months prior, and then I find it ironic. Oh, well, that makes sense. We're coming into the year of the dragon. So I love to play and have fun. So I love the dragon energy. I'm Sagittarius, red hair, like I'm pretty fiery by nature, but in my day to day, speaking of being in the now, I kind of take my dragon energy and I say, am I going to burn this up, meaning let it go, or am I going to light it up, meaning I'm letting this is no longer my reality, or I'm amplifying, intensifying this. So it's a kind of a cool come from staying in the now moment, because a lot of times people are projecting things on us and we're projecting things as well. So if someone does project something on me, I'm either going to burn it up. I'm not playing. No, thank you. Or I'm going to light it up. Yes, please, and amplify. And things coming from me internally. Oh, look at me. Look at how I'm responding. Do I like this? This is how I'm going to show up? No, I'm not. Burn it up. Let it go. Or, ooh, I love this. Let's really hook into it. And even more, and even better, and even more, and even better. And what's cool is I truly believe the energies are so supportive of this, especially in the year of the dragon. So that's a fun little tool that I've actually been using in my life. And I love it. I think it's cool and awesome.
Yeah, me too. I love that. I'm gonna start, doing that. But you know what you said earlier, Tracy, and the healers are sort of bringing it back, was when you're recognizing the stuff and you're seeing the stuff in other people, because you're all a family, right? And they're going through all of this stuff too, and they might not know. The fact that our listeners, they're listening, they know, they're aware on some level, and you sending them that energy. And I would love, like Tracy, when you were just saying, like, okay, I'm gonna burn it up, or I'm gonna light it up. if you know that your family member is going through something, you can have that intention be that you're going to send them that energy, like let them just burn that all up, or whatever's in their highest and best good. Let them clear that, or just, let them, I'm just going to send them love, whatever it is. Have an intention to help others, because the healers have always said to me, when we were doing something like with the world once, and I was like, okay, well, how do we get this love out into the world? What are we doing? And I'm like, somebody has to ask. I'm like, what? Like, somebody has to ask. I'm like, well, I'm asking right now. Like, send love to the world. I'm like, okay, we need somebody to ask. So if you know somebody's going through something, just I send them love, or I send them all they need, or whatever it is, because you're asking, that person will get it. And now pay attention, because you're helping somebody else, you will get energy that you need tenfold or stronger. So don't think, oh my God, I sent this and now my body's going through all this craziness, because I've had people do that, like, oh, I sent this and I must have taken their stuff on. No, you didn't. You can't, unless you think you are. It's impossible to do. It's their energy. But what's happening is you are now purging something that you have inside, because everything that they hear, the healers, God, whatever, the universe, whatever you want to call it, everything that they hear is positive, negative or good for us. They hear everything is positive. So now you're saying, oh, I really did, that person's like such an asshole. I can't believe it. They're like, oh, like how wonderful. You're gonna do that. And all of a sudden you will create things will come to you, so that you will have those same reactions, because, oh, you think that they're an asshole? How wonderful. Let's make you an asshole, because that's
Yeah, you want more of that? You want more?
yeah,
So here you go.
And it's like, no. So be very aware of what Tracy's saying. Okay, you're recognizing what you're responding to and what's happening. Okay, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to light it up, or am I going to burn it up? Like, let that stuff go, because it's showing you something's inside of you. So if you're being an asshole, okay, I'm recognizing that this isn't how I want to show up in the world. This isn't how I want to show up for this person. This isn't how I want to show up for work. Really check in with yourself. Come back to you. Stop looking out here. Come back inside to who and what you are. That makes sense?
Absolutely. And what we're talking about is really you're healing the energy with your heart. Instead of you're not in the struggle bus in the fight or flight zone. Take 3 deep breaths, go back into your heart space and say, oh, wait, what do I want to create what would I like for them to experience? And how do you want to experience this person? So do you want to be entangled in having a shitty vibration? No. So you have the power to amplify your own space and set an intention from your heart that, okay, I want this. I want my experience. We have the ability to create our own experience. So keep your focus on, what experience do I want to have with this person, regardless of what. I don't care if green stuff's coming out of their ears, if their hair is on fire. And you just say, okay, wait, I want to have a beautiful experience with this person, and and radiate your own peace and radiate your own love to that person, whatever it may be. And absolutely. And it's there, and you get it back. It's so true. We talk about the energies of giving and receiving. It's the same energy. That's, a lot of people, I hate that crap that we were taught, like, oh, you have to give a lot or you won't receive. False. Giving and receiving is the same energy. So when you are being that for somebody else, it's coming back to you. That's what you're amplifying. So great point, Renee. So ladies, this was a quick 30 minutes. Any closing little love bites here for our listeners?
Tracy, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I was going to say, I mean, just to be continued. I think there's a lot. I love talking about the energy and the giving, receiving. So I think we can carry on the next
I think
step.
so, because that giving and receiving is so big, especially, we had talked a little before about that, about the energy you're putting when you're giving or receiving. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it's to be continued.
And maybe a little note for next one, karma is hugely at play. We might want to give a little post-it note to our viewers of what's happening in the karmic world. So maybe.
Cool. I love that. And what is it? Because I find a lot of misunderstandings in this one.
True.
So,
Yes.
well, maybe that's our next show. All right, ladies. Well, always good to chat with you, and I will see you next episode.